where
So,
they have the most cases in the world.
so then you wonder if it has anything to do with COVID.
No, yes, I really do. Because I remember even in 2018 when Kenya was down to host the under 18 championships, it was
Right.
the final time for the World Youths.
Yes.
And then
Before
these
the name
same
was
countries,
changed.
yeah,
Yes.
and these same countries did not send athletes to the event in Kenya, citing security fears and all other fandangles. But
Right. Yeah.
you
So now
know,
that we are over the security fears, here come
now
the
it's the
COVID
COVID
fears.
fears,
Yes.
and these
And then
countries,
after that, they'll perhaps put something in.
yes. So, but the J3 nonetheless said they are going full speed ahead and
Indeed.
preparing a
Indeed.
team to send to Kenya for the under 20 championships.
Because the fact of the matter is, you just mentioned, Great Britain, for example, where the cases are higher uh, than in Kenya. Um, when you look, though, Roger, at many of the African countries hosting events, we'll get back to that discussion in a little while.
So paving
So,
their way here for section five car.
this is section
Lane number
5
one
of
travels best
the
of
men's
all.
200
The
meters.
outside is cover.
And we look to the athlete in lane 1,
Past it's Adrian Carr of Kingston College
and
from
it
out of
is
lane number one.
Carr of Kingston
Storming away
College.
from Stavon
Having
Peters.
no trouble at all,
Carr
Raj.
will win
Is like
easily here.
early morning
Sprinting up
stroll for
again.
him.
22.12.
22.12 the flash time for Carr, uh, Kingston College athlete. They're
Maintains
running in late
0.2
one.
meters per second the lead speed.
22.08 now the time.
22.08 for Carr
Okay,
of
so
Kingston
that was
College.
a good run from Carr. He
Indeed.
really
Peters
took it
23.61
away
in
from quite early in
second.
that race, came
Carr
around the curve,
23.05 in third.
and
Adrian
really
Peterson.
dominated,
Section 5
kicking off
plus
the
200
curve and
meters
coming into
and
the
200
straight and
meters
literally
age.
pulling away from the field. A good run there in lane 1 for Carr, representing Kingston College. He showed good form as well in this late season. So let's see what beholds of him in
So
terms of
3.76
if he'll be
meters
also a part
for Sharika
of the
Henson,
trials, because the trials will be
moving
coming up,
on by 3.72.
Dwight, for the under 20s. I think it's a week before the senior trials here in Jamaica, so that should also be a good event to watch.
Having the discussion yesterday with my good friend Jeff, who is the manager of the St. Jago High School track team, had that discussion yesterday at UTEC, and he
Over
was
at the
saying
high jump
that
areas
it was
for
imperative that we have
1.86 meters.
these meet for the juniors, Roger,
Number
because
10 coming
over the
at that
last
height for
2 months or
Sha'Carri
so,
Richardson.
we've been having
So our
meets for
international
the
champion.
seniors. And since champs, Roger, this would be the
Also the
first
best
meet
for the
where the
29
juniors will get a
man
chance to
race.
compete.
Yes, and we saw a number of the coaches really
This
kind
is
of
the
lauding
NCAA
the
The
champion.
J3s,
J3 for
yes.
having this event this morning for
1.86
their
on
junior
the spot.
athletes,
High jumper.
because I mean a number of
Number
them
6 coming.
are still in contention to be a part of Jamaica's team to the respective regional and international competitions as
Certainly.
well. Apart from their examinations and academics and so on, they are still in contention for that. And meets such as this do help to sharpen the athletes
Carr stays
and
up so
get
that
them
she
in top shape
celebrates as she gets over
for when
1.86.
they take on
The big
their
ones.
competitors internationally.
Right,
That's a
and
personal
regionally
best
as
of
well. A point
1.91
of interest
meters.
too, Roger, is that the Paralympic athletes they get their moment in the sun this morning to shine here at the National Stadium.
Right. So among the events for the Paralympic trials or the Paralympic trials this morning, we have the women's long jump for T12 athletes, the men long jump for T47 athletes, the women 100 meters for T12 athletes, the men 100 meters for T12 and T13 athletes, as
Different
well
courses
as
now at
100
the
meters
high
for
jump area for
T37 and
Sharika Henson.
T47 athletes, the women's discus throw for T57 athletes, the men's javelin throw for T57, or rather for F57 athletes, the men's shot put T53, other in terms of club throw, and also the men's 400 meters uh, dash T47. I think our athlete just missed out on a medal on the last Paralympics in Brazil a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
and I'm certain that
So the series for Neshet
they'll
will
try to
be at
wheel and come again and make sure they
2.49
produce
for
even a couple of
Henson,
medals this time around here.
2.72
And speaking about
coming
Paralympics,
her third.
Dwight, yesterday Shauna K.
2.73
Hines
on her fourth,
became the
and
first athlete to
3.69
represent
on
Jamaica
her
at the
fifth.
Paralympics. She's a Taekwondo athlete, and she qualified
Second
based on
coming
merit
now,
in terms of no
Andre Taylor,
pre-qualification events or
Were, s-
qualification events,
were staged.
your stage. But she had been building a good resume in terms of achievements over the past 3 years, winning a number of regional medals and so on. And on merit,
Yes.
she qualified for the first Jamaican to represent the country at the Taekwondo in the Paralympic Games. So congratulations to her.
Yes.
And of course, that's one athlete already in the Paralympics for Jamaica this year.
Awesome news, Raj, because Jamaica have been famous at the Paralympics uh, for events on the track and in the field.
Right?
Right. Alfonso Cunningham readily
Yeah.
comes to mind.
Yes.
So it
Tonto
is,
Campbell.
yeah, Tonto Campbell. So it is
Mm,
good.
yes.
So, or it is excellent news to hear of another athlete of Jamaican heritage getting a
Right.
chance now to shine in another discipline.
All right. So the all comers meet this morning. There are a number of events as well. You just saw the 200 meters for men and women. The men completing, and the fastest time this morning it came from the man from Edwin Allen. Ah, yes, the man from Edwin Allen. We talk here of Brian Level, now representing the J3 youths, clocking a time of 20.67 seconds. Really a kind of late blooming athlete, this. I mean, we saw him at champs, really putting up some good performances in both the 100 and the 200 meters in class one.
Yes.
And now he's looking to fly Jamaica's flag high at the under 20s. This morning he ran a splendid 20.67 seconds, uh, topping the field overall in the men's 200 meters. Also in that race was Andel
Miller.
Miller of MVP. He clocked 20.94. And Raheem Scott, he was third, 21.43. Um,
Incidentally, Roger,
mhm.
that heat or that section, if you will, is the fastest of the morning on the men's side.
Right, because the second section, the Mark Anthony Miller of Jamaica College, he won there in 21.46 ahead of uh, Requiem Graham of Woolmer's Boys and another Jamaica College athlete, Zidane Brown, 21.47. And of course, these times were below the times that was run in the first heat, won by Brian Level there, 20.67 seconds. Yes, so we see a number of J3 youths competing this morning. Of course, when you see J3 youth, these are the athletes that are in camp right now because, as we said, the J3 they are sending a team to the
Yes.
World Under 20s, and they currently have a camp preparing the athletes for them.
Yeah, and the discussion with Jeff yesterday, as I mentioned about 5 minutes ago, was centered around that, the importance of bringing the youngsters together, Roger, in a camp, and of course also to getting them to be familiarized with their potential teammates and other athletes who have done well across the island, Roger. The truth is that since champs, as I said before, there have been no competition for the junior athletes. So here they are in camp, and here they are this morning at the National Stadium, and hopefully the J3 will perhaps put on another junior meet like this before the trials.
Well, based on what I heard, is that this is the first. Maybe they might have another all-comers meet before the actual trials. So let's see about that. But among the events this morning to come on your screens here on Stride Vision TV, we have the 100-meter hurdles for under 17 and under 19 girls. We also have the boys under 17 and under 19 10-meter hurdles events. We have the women long jump, the men high jump, the women's 100 meters, the men's 100 meters, shot put, long jump, women's 800 meters, men's 800 meters, women's 400-meter hurdles, the boys under 17 400-meter hurdles, the men's 400 meters hurdles, the women 400 meters, and the men's 400 meters rounding out the day's activities. Should be around 12:10, but we'll just wait and see where that is concerned. Well, those are the events that will be happening here today at the National Stadium. Of course, we are now, the 200 meters are now behind us. And as we said, Brand Level, he produced the fastest time this morning of 20.67 seconds. Brand Level of Erin Allen, one to watch for the future.
Indeed, as we stand by now for another event on the track. Roger, the JOA president this morning, Christopher Samuda, in his opening remarks, spoke to the importance of having meets like these for the exposure of the athletes and for the competition as well. And he mentioned somewhere in his speech, Roger, uh, between the JOA and the JTRA, making the
4.6
impossible
meters for
possible.
100 meter,
Remind you too that we are in a
2050 race
pandemic,
for the
and
men
both
competition
organizations
for
um,
47.
coming in conjunction to make this morning possible.
Yes.
And behind him we have
Started
the
with the
fastest
whole
2.91
Olympic Destiny series,
meters.
and apparently they have
That goes
decided
on
to
for
take it
best
over
for
because all
Joe
comers
Wilson.
has been going on
She
for
gets
about
over the
3 years
line,
now,
waiting for her
but
first best, the
there's
Olympic
a more
standard of
meaningfulness
1.6
now
meters.
to it.
First attempt
The
coming,
JOA in
Wilson with a
collaboration with
fast
the
one,
J3,
191.
and in light of the whole pandemic situation as well, and
Right.
athletes were starved of competition, so there's a whole new meaning to this whole all comers meet business, and good to see that the JOA and the J3, they have put a more vested interest in this event, because the competition has been far and wide in between. So
Certainly.
apart from the international, the Diamond League meets and so on, where that's only where our senior athletes will compete. Here in Jamaica, you can still have high level competition, high level times, as witnessed a couple of weeks ago with Shelley and
With
Fraser
Shelley and
Price
Fraser,
and so
yes,
on.
yes.
You know, and I'm certain that with the input of what the JOA and the J3 are doing, that is why you are seeing such outstanding times and outstanding performances.
Several papers in the United States, Roger, that weekend, before I get back to the point of this taking on a new meaning, several newspapers in North America carried the 10.63 uh, clocking by Shelley and Fraser in the women's 100 meters, the fastest time in 33 years. But the point is that they also mentioned that the JTRA and the JOA with the Olympic Destiny Series made it possible during this pandemic for not only Shelley and Fraser, but people like Rashid Broadbell, who still has the fastest time over the men's 110 hurdle as a Jamaican. Um, Looking to Roger at the 200 meters and other events, how well these athletes got the chance to perform, and the fact that the times were good enough to shape them well for competition like the Olympic Games.
Yes, of course. Rashid Broadbell, he held the world lead for a good while until recently, when Omar McLeod at the Florence Diamond League meet last week, he
Yes.
established a new world lead. So yes, Broadbell. I mean, we have seen Broadbell right here
Hmm.
on our local events, rising up in front of us and
Yeah,
producing those
I
outstanding
think back to
times.
back, a
Mm,
week after Roger.
right.
1 week he
Mm,
clocked, was it 13,
yeah.
13.15?
Yes.
And then the week after, 13.10.
R-
Right,
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 and of
yeah.
course, he was swapping with Grant Holloway
Grant Holloway
of the
of the United
United
States,
States,
yes,
but
yes.
Omar McLeod now, based on what he did last week
Mm.
in Rome at the Diamond League meet, Omar now would now have that world lead. But Broadbell, I mean, still among the top three in terms of times in the world. We were hoping to see him here today.
Not too sure. We'll
I
perhaps
guess you'll see him at the trials.
look at the draw for lanes and see later on. I'll check the program.
Mm,
But Shelley and Fraser, that 1063 Roger,
mm.
earth shattering.
Yeah, I mean, it really shook us up, shook the entire track and field world up, because it has been a long time we have seen such a fast time by a woman. Of course, Carmelita Jetta, was she held that fastest woman alive title
Yes.
with 10.64
We're standing by
prior
for
to that
event
for about 10
29.
years or so,
Yes.
The men's
and
100 meters. This is a
of
Paralympic
course,
event as well
Shelley
for
and
the
Fraser Price, I
T13.
mean, looking quite good, and based on what
We're
happened, you could see
qualifiers
that she had a lot more in
genuinely
the
in
tank.
this
And funny enough that you'd
event.
mentioned Carmelita Jetta, because she was one of the first persons on Twitter to congratulate Shelley
Right,
based on that 1063.
right.
What I never liked, though, Roger, was a statement, though, from Sha'Carri Richardson. Uh, and I'll be going to that statement in just a second. And
Speaking about her,
yeah,
she won the trials last night in the United
In lane
States.
number
right,
2,
I gather.
So
Yes,
10.84, looking
Isaiah
yes,
quite good.
Sims.
Yes.
So I mean,
Puts her
of course
puts her
she
in
has,
good stead.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Jason
she,
Brown.
the women's 100 meters should
Lane
be
6,
interesting at the Olympics.
Chadwick Campbell.
Yes,
This is our statement, Roger.
Lane 7,
yeah. She said my presence in this track
Shane
game,
Hudson.
making history
And in lane 8,
happen.
Yeah.
No need
Jonathan
for a thank you.
No,
Ferguson.
come on now,
Uh,
Roger.
The athletes representing Jamaica
it, it,
Paralympics.
uh,
you can read
Men's
into that
100 meter
message
dash
several
T12,
ways because,
yeah,
T13,
but to
and
me
the
though, it seemed
T47
condescending,
competitive.
yeah.
as if she wasn't there, then Shelley and Fraser wouldn't have clocked.
Right. Yes.
Oh, come
Yes.
on
I
now.
mean, she has been dropping quite a few words in recent times.
Yeah, but
As we
hey,
speak, Dwight, I know that as we said earlier, the J3A, or rather the Paralympic trials is also on the way today, and I'm not certain that we have a lane draw for the Paralympic athletes this morning, who will be running the 100 meters. Um, all right, so let's see now. The Paralympic athletes are on the track. Mm, hearing that we should have it, but I'm not seeing it at all. Hmm. Okay, so yes,
all
we
right.
do have it.
It would be the men's 100 meters dash T12 and T13. Uh, we're seeing only 5 athletes on the track, Roger,
Hmm.
and we're seeing an athlete there in lane 2 from where we sit. Isaiah Sims, another athlete there in lane 4. It would be Jason Brown. Lane 6 is Chadwick Campbell. Lane 7, Shane Hudson, a famous name for Paralympics in Jamaica. And Jonathan Ferguson, he runs in lane 8.
Yeah, Shane Hudson.
A veteran, Shane Hudson. So they're
Yeah,
called
man.
to their
Shane Hudson
marks.
was the one who was a fourth place finisher in the 400 meters at the Paralympics in
in,
2016.
in 2016 in Brazil.
Hmm. He's here in the 100 meters this morning.
And so some of the athletes now being assisted, or at least the athlete in lane 4, Jason Brown, being assisted by a member of the starting committee into the set position, and away they go. We
100
look to
meters
the athlete
Paralympic
there
T12,
immediately, running
T13,
there in lane 2.
T47
It is
competitors.
Isaiah Sims. Isaiah
On the lane
Sims.
side, Isaiah Sims.
And Sims will land it.
Well clear of the rest of the
11:44,
field,
the flash time.
11.44.
And second might
The flash
have gone
time
to
for
Chadwick Campbell,
Isaiah
running
Sims.
in lane 6. We wait to
That
see.
time adjusted to 11.40.
All right, so
Positive 0.8 meters per second
So
Isaiah
difference.
Sims there.
11:40
Campbell
the time
finishing
for
second.
Sims. And Campbell,
11.62.
Chadwick Campbell,
Para World
finishing
Championship
second.
400 silver medalist Hudson finishing in third
11:82.
position.
And in third,
11.68 for
Hudson,
Shane
Shane
Hudson.
Hudson, 11:63.
Ferguson in fourth at 11.70.
So the
And Brown
first
11.83 finishing
Paralympic track
in
event
fifth
out of the
position.
way. And it's a men's
Competitors there in the
100
T12,
meters
T13 and
T12,
T47
T13 event.
categories competing
And
on the
Isaiah Sims, a
100
winner,
meters as part of
11:40.
the Paralympic
Second
trials.
going to Chadwick Campbell, 11:82. And third, Shane Hudson, 11:63.
All right, so there you have it. The Olympic qualifier there, the Paralympic qualifier, 100 meters. Isaiah Sims winning 11.49, is it?
11:40.
11.40, the winning time for Isaiah Sims. And of course, Shane Hudson, an Paralympic medalist in the past, he was third in 11.68. Chadwick Campbell, 11.62. So as we said, the all comers meet this morning in conjunction with the J3A. All comers meet.
And back to something you mentioned earlier, Roger, about the meets now here at the National Stadium, the all-comers meet, taking on a new meaning. That is true as it regards sponsorship too. Because several weeks ago we were here, Roger, on a Stride Vision TV, and remember the discussion uh, which was centered around the fact that each athlete who breaks a record on the day would get $10,000. It was a $10,000, $100,000, sorry, $100,000. Um, and we see Seven Crave uh, being big on the sponsorship on that day, and they're here again today. Saw them just now on the advertising board, as well as the ODPEM, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. So it is good, Roger, that one and two sponsors in the Jamaican parlance, illiku, but them talawa.
Right. Because I mean, with Jamaica has been doing so well in track and field over the past couple of years, and having this sponsorship does aid, does help
Certainly.
in terms of providing the platform as well as providing that whole motivation for the athletes as well to know that there is something that they can aspire for and be rewarded financially at the end. So very well, kudos to the sponsors for coming on. But speaking about those fast times though, yesterday, or I think it was the day before actually, we saw Blessing Okabari
Yes, it
of
was.
Nigeria
Yes, it was Thursday. Yes.
running another fast time as well, but her time was winning at 10.63,
Hmm.
and she had a plus 2.7 in reading.
Yes. Yes, and
Yes, we let
it
us back up. We said speaking about fast times, we
hmm
saw Blessing Okabari of Nigeria running a fast time, but her time was winning in the Nigerian Championships,
yes,
10.63. And her celebrations at the end of the race, she literally thought that wow,
yes,
but the
but it
win
was
reading,
short-lived.
yeah, the win reading
Was
was
over the legal limit
right
of two
way
meters
over
per
the
second.
legal
Yeah, yes.
limit. But also Okabar, I mean, 11.63 under any conditions, I mean, it is something that you stand up and pay attention to. It shows that I mean, she's in good nick, So when you have the likes of a Sha'Carri Richardson, Adina Asher Smith, and then we still have skippers from the Netherlands in the mix. The Ivory Coast girls, Ahuri
Yes.
and Talou,
Then
and then also you have, I mean,
sounds like a
our very
quality field.
own
Yes.
our own Shelley and Fraser Price and the reigning Olympic champion Elaine Thompson in the mix. It's gonna be a very interesting women's 100 meters field at the highest level when they do come together this year.
Indeed, because
T2 events
um,
for Kimberly Williamson,
l-
1.89 meters, failing to get
well,
over 1.91.
Hmm.
so an information they're coming from the high jump era for Kimberly Williamson, uh, clearing the bar at 1.89 meters.
Yes,
Um,
Kimberly Williamson,
right.
1.89 meters in clearing that bar. That would be the winning height. She is attempting to go 1.90. The discus is also on the way, Dwight,
Yeah,
on the
that
field. And
started
mm,
early this morning.
all right.
I mean, in fact, it was the first event on the program. It,
Mm,
uh,
mm.
it began as our program stated, uh, 10 minutes after 8. So many of the athletes were here early, Roger.
Yes, they were here
Um,
quite early because these are normally the time that a lot of them do train as well.
yes.
So they would be out, going through their respective drills
Or it's around about the time when most of them have finished training.
and finish.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
would be
yeah, yeah,
some would be
yeah,
still training at that time, and some would be finishing. Some of them are quite early, five
yeah.
o'clock, 5:30, so on
Yes.
in the morning.
I, I, I remember walking through UTech back gate and seeing the athletes, like a Safa Power, like
Mm,
Shelley Fraser, others, Lester Carter,
mm.
at about 4:30, warming up, Roger.
Yes.
When many of us would have not even turned in our beds at
Right.
that time, Roger.
And that is why you see the results that they,
Yes, indeed,
put up
indeed.
on the board. I mean, it's hard work behind the scenes
Yes.
when everyone is asleep. They
Uh,
are out there putting in the work.
well, the heights by great men reach and kept were not attained by sudden flight. So,
Mm.
and so we say good morning to, of course, the Olympian Bert Cameron,
Yes.
just passing in the
Passing
background.
through, yes.
Yeah.
Olympic, a coach now in his own right, Cameron Blazers,
Yes,
trying to qualify some of his athletes to the Olympics as well.
indeed.
And Bert Cameron, no doubt a legend in Jamaica's track and field. First world 400 meters champion, 1983.
Yes.
Overwhelming favorite for the Olympic title in 1984.
84, the year after, yes.
And
Until,
suffered misfortune
yeah, that
in his
injury.
semi-final, but
Yes.
he still ran a splendid, after pulling up in that race, he ran a
Yes.
splendid race to come back to qualify for the final.
Yes.
Showed the mettle of the man. He pulled up at about 150 meters. He felt something, almost stopped running when the
Yes.
entire field had gone, and he ran back into that race and qualified for the
Qualified for the
final, but
final,
he
but
did not
couldn't
turn
turn
up
up at the final.
for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
final.
yeah.
Though
Couldn't
an
run.
event like that is no
Yes.
doubt does go down in Jamaica's folklore in terms of athletics achievements and so on. Of course, he finally got his Olympic medal in 1988 with the men's 4x400 meters team, a silver
Yes.
behind the United States and so on. Um, top Jamaican quarter miler in the 80s, Bertland Cameron.
Definitely, Roger. I mean,
Mm,
Bert certainly is respected and revered
mm,
as one of the best 400-meter runners out of Jamaica land we love.
mm,
Herb McKinley, Arthur Wint, George Roden, um, certainly legendary in their time,
mm.
but we take nothing away from the heart of Bert Cameron
Not at all.
at that Olympics in 1984.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I remember as a kid watching it live, and we knew he was a favorite to win the gold. And when we saw that, our hearts literally dropped out.
Oh Lord, yes,
Then we saw him come back in the
yes.
race and qualified. Got that final qualifying
And our
spot.
spirit lifted temporarily.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
yes,
yes, yes,
because and
yes.
but he didn't turn up at all. It was
Y-
too much.
you know the only other race um, like that that affected me um, mentally, Roger, was the event in which Bolt ran that anchor leg in the 4x1,
His last race.
his very last race,
Okay.
and crashed to the turf. My
Yeah.
goodness, Roger.
Yeah.
And
There's still a lot of speculations about that event. I mean, his final event and so on, and a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
whatever.
No,
But the
whatever
fact
the
is that
speculation is,
yeah, yeah.
I remember that one hit me for six, Roger.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Because I was expecting Bolt to go out in a blaze of glory,
Mm,
as is expected of the man,
mm.
and it just never happened.
Yeah, well, what he left on the track, nonetheless, what he had done on the track before that would have definitely override anything that happened on
Yes.
that day. So, leaving him in the legendary status of
No,
all
no,
time.
yeah, yeah, because it never took away from Bolt's legendary status,
Not at all.
not at all. But you just want him to top it off
Mm,
by bringing home the gold and
mm.
then adding to his legacy. But it
Right.
just never happened.
Right. I still think up to this day, in my view, I thought that if Bolt had just prepared himself like previous years when he prepared for the 100 and the 200 meters for that one final time. We know it's hard work. I mean, it's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done,
I
indeed.
mean,
Yes.
because remember he dropped the 200 meters for that final in his final year,
Yes.
and
That
was just concentrated on the 100 meters. But
yeah.
for me,
That was
that
2017 at
background,
the World
yeah,
Championship. Yes.
yeah, that background work needed are done. That was done in previous years, running both the 100 and the 200 meters, preparing for both. No doubt helped both races. I just felt that, I mean, if he had also prepared for the 200 meters, I just feel that he would have finished with a bang as well if he had just prepared for the two, because both of the events complement each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
The background, the whole, um, in terms of the 200 meters, the endurance and so on, the strength,
Yeah.
because this because if you remember, he came third in the 100 meters behind Coleman and Gatlin
And
and
Gatlin,
so
yeah.
on, and I mean he basically ran down the field. Had he, in my opinion, that
Mm.
200-meter strength, he would have caught them. That preparation for that 200-meter strength, he would have caught them in that 100 meters. But
I mean,
so
it's
be it.
water under the bridge,
Yes.
but I mean,
Mm.
as we said before,
Mm.
it doesn't take away
No, not at
from
all.
the legacy of the great Usain Bolt.
Not at all. All right, so we are now getting prepared for the 100-meter hurdles for the under 17 girls. And there'll be one event here, and then we'll be having the under 19 girls. And coming up in this under 17 100-meter hurdles for girls, we have Asaria Ulette of St. Catherine High, Kayla Gay Clark of St. Jago High, and Essence Burbridge of Immaculate High. Those are the three who will contest the women's under 17 or the girls under 17 100-meter hurdles in a short while from now here.
Event 38 after that, Raj, is the girls under 19 100-meter hurdles, where we have listed on our program Crystal Walker to run in lane 2, Alpha Academy.
So event 37 on track
Marisa
now, the girls
Simpson,
under
lane 3,
17
Clarendon
100
College.
meter
Gabriel
hurdles.
Matthews, lane 4, unattached.
On the 18
Salisi
girls
Miles,
100
lane
meter
5,
hurdles.
J3
Two
Youths.
competitors listed here.
Patrice
In lane
Clark
3,
runs
Ashari
out of
Yulet
lane
St.
6,
Catherine.
J3 Youths.
In lane
And
5,
Alexi
Essence
James
Burbridge
Petersfield
Immaculate.
runs out of lane
And
7.
number 40 on the 18 girls 100 meter hurdles.
All right, so
But
it's now down
this
to
is the event that will go before that one.
two athletes will actually contest this girls under 17
And we have 3
100
on our
meter
paper,
hurdles,
Roger.
right?
So it
So
would
it's
mean
Asaria
therefore that
Ulette of St. Catherine and Essence Burbridge of Immaculate.
so Kayla Gay Clark of St. Jago High missing. Nonetheless, the show must go on, Raj.
So they go to their marks. Ulette and Burbridge. Set, position, off they go.
Clean start, first time of
Ulette
asking.
gets up well.
Stevens
Burridge
at the moment.
tracks her.
Hewlett and
Hewlett still
Burbridge.
holding that lead. Burbridge
Hewlett
left
will
back
take
now
advantage now
as
to
Hewlett now
pass
takes the
clear
lead
to
and
Ashari
pulling
Hewlett of
away,
St.
winning
Catherine.
by 4
Gets
meters.
the win ahead of Burbridge.
14.17.
14.17 seconds of flash time.
The flash time comes
Makes it
across here.
0.4 meters per second. The win
0.40 for the win reading. And Ashara Hewlett of St. Catherine winning comfortably in the end.
Yes, 14:13 the time now for. So Ashari Hewlett winning 14.13 seconds.
All right, not having the.
And
14.13 for Hewlett.
in fact, Burbridge finishing second. I'm seeing 14:132, but that could not be correct, Roger.
No, not at all.
14.68 for
14.68
Okay.
is the time for Burbridge.
Yeah, because of the board had 14:13 for both athletes. But
This is an event where
would not have been
our
possible for
juniors
that.
have also done well over the years. Remember Yannick Thompson winning the World Youths in Kenya in 2018. Then we have Brittany Anderson.
Formerly of Vera Technical.
Yes, and she went to Camperdown in her last year and so on.
Yes.
She was a silver medalist in Finland in the World Under 20. For me, I am still baffled as to how she was not at least given a share of that gold medal in terms of that race, because
When she went down on the line with the athlete of the United
from
States.
the United States,
Yes, I remember that.
nothing separated the athletes, but somehow the organizer decided that to give the American athlete the win. Nothing, and we have seen strange things happen.
Yes.
At that time,
Merlin Lotti can tell you.
yeah, at that time, the Americans weren't winning any gold medals at all. I think that was the first gold medal they got at the world, because they were just getting beaten left, right, and center. Brianna Williams winning the sprint double, I mean, they weren't winning any medals. The Americans, with a very strong team, they weren't winning any medals. You know,
And that was
so
even there in Tampere,
yeah,
Finland. Yeah.
In Tampere, Finland in
Okay.
2019. Yeah. So yeah, Brittany Anderson now she I think she now holds the under 20 world record out right now. So, and she's now preparing for the big times in terms of trying to make the national team for the Olympics.
So we'd see her at the trials to come.
Yes, with and of course the women's 100-meter hurdles will be a very crack field this year in our trials. I think it is the last event for the trials this year to
Seven,
close the championships down.
seven athletes on the track, Raj. We have six on our sheet.
At the discus area,
Hmm.
on the 20
This now
discus
is the under
hurler,
19 girls 100-meter hurdles event. The next
in
event
eighth
on the track.
position with 49.82, Raquel Broderick. In seventh, 50.10
Crystal
meters,
Roger.
Walker runs in lane
Connor
2, Alpha
L.
Academy.
Clarendon College.
Marisa Simpson,
In
lane 3,
sixth,
Clarendon
60.38
College. In
meters,
lane
Sophie
4,
Lawrence,
Gabriel Matthews,
J3A
unattached.
Youth. In
Salisa
fifth,
Miles runs out of lane 5, representing
54.76,
J3
Tamar
Youths.
Reed, unattached.
Another athlete
In
representing
fourth,
J3 Youths is Patrice Clark.
54.31,
She runs out of lane
Savon
6.
Husband,
And Alexis
J3A
James of
Youth.
Petersfield in
In
lane 7.
third, 54.82, Christopher Young,
All right.
J3A Youth.
So
In second,
this is
Trevor
the under
Gaskell,
19 girls,
57.66 meters, and he's J3A's youth. And
100
we'll meet
meter
up
hurdles,
at 58.16, Ralph Glenn Mullings, J3A
and
youth.
of course they are all gearing up to compete at the junior trials sometime in another 2 weeks or so, right here at the national stadium as well. And they are preparing for the under 20 World Championships to be staged in Kenya. As we see the officials making the respective adjustments for the hurdles for the girls.
And in the event you're just joining us from across the geographic space of Jamaica land we love, we say good morning. If you're in North America, we say good morning or good afternoon or good night, depending on where you are. Across the world, we say welcome to Stride Vision TV. My name is Dwight Fraser alongside,
Yeah, man, Roger Haspel.
and this is the J3 All Comers Meet along with the JAAA Paralympic Trials.
All right, so you also see the athletes gearing up for the long jump for juniors as well. Women long jump.
And in a little while, Roger perhaps will give us the starters in that women's long jump event. But right now, our eyes are trained on the track, where we stand you by for the girls on the 100-meter hurdles event. Walker in 2, Simpson 3, Matthews 4, Miles 5, Clark in 6, James in 7. And then after that, we should have the women's 100 meters hurdles, where we're seeing a famous name here, Roger.
Right. Two competitors, including a very well-known athlete, Melaine Walker, who was the Olympic champion over 400-meter hurdles in 2008 and the world champion in 2009. A couple years after that, she had decided that she would go back to the 100-meter hurdles, uh, having differences with her track club at the time and so on. Because if you remember, Melaine Walker, she was a top sprint hurdler in
At the
high
high
school.
school at
Yes,
St. Jago.
yeah, at St.
Right,
Jago,
right.
coached
And right
by
now, the
uh,
under 20 girls 100
Raymond
meter
Casey
hurdles.
Graham,
Yes, our coach.
and
So
she had decided um,
7 athletes
to
in the
go back
lineup
to
in lane
doing
2,
the 100-meter
representing
hurdles.
Alpha Academy.
A lot of people thought it was a
Crystal
mistake
Walker,
because this was
J3,
just about the time when
representing
when their
Clarendon
handlers
College,
believed that she could have
Marissa Simpson.
attacked the world
Lane
record over
4,
400-meter
competing
hurdles,
right.
unattached, Gabriel
and she decided
Matthews.
to
Lane 5,
go back to the
To the
100
representing
100-meter
hurdles,
J3A
hurdles.
Youths,
but
Celise
and it never
miles.
It
materialized
didn't materialize,
because
and
at that
86
time she had
also
left
representing J3
MVP
youths. Patrice
to
Clark.
join Racers
Lane
Track
7
Club.
representing
but her
Future
name is here
Stadium.
today, so let's see if
Alexis
she actually turns
James.
up
And lane
and run
8 representing St.
in that
Jago.
race. It's,
Kayla K. Clark.
in fact,
The lineup
she's among two
for the
competitors,
women's.
Melaine Walker
The under
and
20 girls.
Shanette Allison. So let's
100-meter
see
hurdles.
when that time comes if she actually turns up.
We'll wait to see. So Kayla Gay Clark, the athlete there in lane 8 of San Diego, brings to 7 the number of athletes that have lined up now for the girls on the 19 100-meter hurdles event. Being called to their marks. So Crystal Walker, lane 2. Marisa Simpson, lane 3. Gabriel Matthews, lane 4. Salisi Miles, 5. Patrice Clark, 6. Alexa James, 7. And Kayla Gay Clark, 8. Away
On the
they go.
20
First
girls,
time of asking.
100-meter
We look
hurdles.
immediately to lane 3. Marisa
Marissa
Simpson
Simpson.
of Clarendon College being hounded immediately now by
Now Salisi
Salisi Miles.
Miles.
But Miles surges to the front with one flight of hurdle to clear.
Salisi
Miles a
Miles
winner.
ahead of
Flash
Gabriel
time
Matthews. It's a
13:56
quick time
for
as
Salisi
well.
Miles.
13.56.
And of course, the previous leader there in Marisa Simpson
Negative 0.1 meters per
perhaps
second,
would
the
have
wind
gotten second,
speed.
not too sure. We look to the board to see what have transpired
The
in the
winning
closing
time
stages.
adjusted to
But
13.51.
13:51 the time for Salisi Miles, and second
Matthews
Matthews,
in second position at
13
13.69.
13.69 for Matthews, who finished second, and in third Walker, that would be Crystal Walker of Alpha Academy, and the time for Walker, not yet up on the board, but a good run that time, Raj, for Salisi Miles.
I actually thought it was Simpson who actually snatched that third place, still awaiting. I think they're still sorting that out.
It would
But
have to be,
because she held the lead
based
for a
on where she
long
was
while
positioned.
until maybe about the 80-meter mark when Miles was always coming forward.
But 1382 for Walker, who
So
have
the
gotten that
adjustment
third
being
place,
made
Roger,
on
and
the
not
stadium
Simpson.
clock. Salisi Miles 13.51.
So
The winner,
1351, the
Gabriel
winner,
Matthews in
Salisi
second position
Miles.
at 13.69.
So Miles coming through after 70 meters to really eliminate the lead of Marisa Simpson, who was looking quite good. Actually, we all thought she would have been
1382 for Patrice Clark, Roger, who finished
going
third.
on for the victory. But no doubt, Salicia Miles of Eden Allen and the J3 youth, she had other ideas and coming through in 13.51 seconds. And Gabriel Matthews also ran well to take that second spot, 13.69 seconds. So good showing here by our junior girls as they get prepared for the national trials to come. And of course, they're also gearing up for the World Under 20s to be staged in Kenya. So cool morning here in Kingston, Jamaica at the National Stadium for
Yeah,
track and field action.
and we look to the track now, Roger, where Roger will do duties in terms of commentary for this event. Uh, we're seeing Melaine Walker, Roger, in 4, and Shanette Allison, 5, GC Foster College. Melaine Walker unattached.
Walker is there. Yes, she's down there actually. And unless it's another Melaine Walker, we'd all suspect that is the original Melaine Walker, 400-meter hurdles gold medalist in 2008 in Beijing and the Berlin world champion 2009, competing in the 100-meter hurdles these days. Not yet really throwing down a gauntlet since her decision to switch to that event. Let's hope, let's see if this is the year that will be, she'll be making a difference where that event is
The time
concerned.
still being displayed on the stadium clocks for the under 20 girls 100
All right, so
meter hurdles.
also
The winner, Salisi Miles,
running concurrently,
13.51.
is the under 19 girls
169.69.
discus
Personal
throw.
best performances for the top two in
And
that
there are
event.
16 competitors down there for that.
Clark 13.82.
And
Finishing in third position,
the field
Rose
events
Dixon
athletes
in
have
fourth.
always complained that some of the limelight should have been shed on them as well. And no doubt we'll try to
13.95
give you as
for
much
Simpson.
information as possible where the
Women's 100-meter
girls
hurdles coming up next on
under
track.
19 discus throw is concerned. And among the
Next
competitors
to
over
come to
there,
you,
we
ladies
have
and
Alia
gentlemen, the
White
women's 100-meter hurdles. In
unattached,
lane 4, running unattached,
Brittany
Melaine
Johnson,
Walker.
and
In
Kimona
lane
Hines,
5,
J3
purchased from the
Youths.
college, Sha'Carri
Latavia
Richardson.
Galloway of St. Jago, Gabriel Henry unattached. And these are just some of the competitors in that discus throw. So,
So the confirmation coming now, Roger. Melaine Walker it is.
yes.
Rolling back the years, Melaine Walker. She runs out of lane 4.
Right. And also Shanette Allison of GC Foster College. Melaine Walker, a dominant runner in the 90s at Chancellor St. Jago. In this event, rolling back, as Dwight said, rolling back the years to see 20 years or so, and they're
Making
off.
way first time of asking,
And getting up well is
Allison
Allison.
and Walker.
Walker tries to close the gap on
Allison in
her,
white
but
with
Allison is
the
holding the step.
advantage.
Allison still
Sha'Carri
clearing the
Richardson
hurdles
of
quite
GC
comfortably,
Foster College.
and
In front
left
clear
leaving
now. It's Allison
Melaine Walker behind,
making her way for the
and
win.
Willing
13.67 the flash time ahead of Walker
13.67 for Allison.
of
Flash time.
0.9 meters per second the wind
Melaine
speed.
Walker second.
13.63 seconds for Allison.
13.63 in the end for Allison, holding that step.
14.10 for Walker.
So Melaine Walker
Yes,
not
Raj. I
dipping
mean,
below the 13 seconds barrier. 14.10 for her.
yeah. I mean, we could conclude that our best years have passed, Raj. But then, who are we to determine that the athlete cannot continue to not only roll back the years, but to grasp back for history
Mm,
and perhaps build on what she have? I mean,
yeah,
the,
many athletes, I mean, are still running. You remember, yeah, in their late 30s, even into their early 40s. I mean, you remember Kim Collins? He was carrying our flag
yeah,
high
yeah, in the 40s,
for a while. Yeah,
in his 40s.
right.
Remember
Early
that?
40s,
Early
yes,
40s,
yes,
early 40s,
yeah.
yes.
We see Gatlin still approaching that 40-year mark, still competing, trying to make the Olympic team. He was a gold medalist in 2004 at the Athens Olympics,
Hmm.
and of course he even competed at the 2016 Olympics,
In
and is
real.
still competing, trying to make the Olympic team for 2021. So we see Veronica Campbell Brown. I mean, in her late 30s as well, still trying to compete, still
And
trying to make the Jamaica team.
when Merlinotte broke the national record, she
She
was
was well late.
36.
She was
Yes,
late in her late 30s as
yes.
well. She got better with age. Emerly Naughty. But Melaine Walker, many people still thought it was a mistake for her to
Switch from the 4 hurdles
switch
to the
from the
100
four
meters.
hurdles to
Looking on,
go back to the 100-meter hurdles.
because
She
looking,
has not yet
yeah,
established herself since that decision.
Event
not
schedule
at all. And
35 or
looking
results
at
ready
her
for
just now,
Japan. Women's
Roger,
long jump
um,
T47.
we're not
We
seeing
have
that
Andre
same
Fuller,
kind of
Jamaica
ball of
Paralympic,
fire and that
21.66
speed
meters is
Yeah.
that
destination
we're accustomed to
for the
from a
women's
Melanie
She
Walker.
has the
200 long
lift.
jump
Yes,
competition.
That means
She
she still
competes at
can
the
hurdle. She
Olympic
have the lift,
event
but the speed
in lane
work is not there as yet.
8.76
You really need
meters.
speed, and these
Women's
young
200
guns
meters,
coming up
we go
nowadays,
for
they're
winner
not
Annette
playing.
Francis,
I mean, the
23.77
Americans.
seconds ahead of
Remember,
Annie
we
Kane at
still have the Americans,
24.61. Joanne Reed at
I,
that are still
25.01.
dominant in the
Jessica
100-meter hurdles.
Willering
We have quite a
at
few of
25.07.
ladies
Nika
um,
Brissett in fifth,
coming through
25.23.
locally right
And
now,
in sixth,
and
Jamaica,
they are
Tabitha
doing
Sala
quite well. You
running
know,
unattached
um, you're talking
28.21.
about the Daniel
Daniel
Williams,
Williams
who
and
was a bronze medalist.
mhm,
You know, I mean, Megan Tappers of this world. Uh, I mean the Brittany Andersons of this world, the Akira Nugent of this world, coming through. These young guns are not playing. And
And so and
you
so
know,
and so the advice then for Melaine Walker is that she'd have to come better at the trials.
and it's gonna be a tough task, a tough ask for her as well. I
Almost like a
mean,
mountain to climb.
more than a mountain to climb to come up against these athletes. Because right now, in terms of, as I say, remember you have the Americans to contend with, you know. So, and then our local girls now they are trying to topple the Americans, the young guns coming through, trying to topple the Americans. So it's going to be a very tough
Time is
task
out. So
for
the
Melaine
final
Walker at this
round for
stage
the
of her career.
competitors at the
Certainly,
Discus
it will
area
be.
But
on the 20
but
point
but but but
stroke.
kudos to her
Yes,
for still
The
for
competing
final
still
attempt
competing. Yes,
from
indeed.
and trying to show that she can still pack a punch where it's necessary or where it's needed. And let's see what happens at the trials
Because
if she actually turns up.
the point I was making,
Score
who are we
starting
to
point
call
is
a athlete
60 meters
career
for
over
Roderick
when
on his
they
final
believe that
attempt.
they still have it within them to compete? Except that I still maintain that I believe, and this is my personal opinion now, that our best years have
So he
passed.
finishes
No,
in 8th
I'm
position
certain that
with
you're
a
not the only
score
one
of
who
649.86.
feels that way.
Final attempt now
My
for
gut
the
feeling is
final
that
male.
these is gonna be very tough for her
The
against these new rising crop Jamaican girls. It's
Foul on
tough,
his
gonna be
foot
very
and
tough.
the 5th attempt.
next event on the track, Roger, is the boys under 17 110 hurdles, where we have four competitors listed on our paper.
Right? Of course, we have the likes of Jevon Nelson of Calabar, Andre
42.69.
Harris of St. Jago,
Closeout
and
routine
Daniel
for the
Clark of
final
Kingston
male
College,
in the under
and
20
Daniel
point
Wright
discus.
of Excelsior
Final
High.
attempt now for Hobie
Four
Lawrence
athletes listed for
with
this
a
event. The
53.11.
boys 110-meter high hurdles. Another event in which our men's have been performing quite well at the senior level, junior to senior level. If you remember, we still have the reigning under 20 champion in Damian Thomas
Yes.
coming through. He didn't medal at the NCAAs this year. In fact, it was another unexpected Jamaican medalist, Lemonius, formerly of Jamaica College. He won that 110 hurdles. Actually, he took a medal, I'm sorry, at the NCAA. I think he was third. And Damian Thomas, the world under 20 champion, he faded, didn't medal at all, but he's still there in the thick of things. Damian Thomas. Then we have the likes of um, Orlando Bennett, who was a bronze medalist at the under 20s as well,
Yes.
competing. Of course, we still have the Omar McLeod having the world
So this is
leading time
World leading
now.
time now.
let's
Yeah.
go to the
Broadbell,
boys
Rashid
next
Broadbell. Yes.
session
coming through as
final
well,
With a season best
bursting on the scene this year. Let's see how he will fare. And we still have the Ronald Levis of this
31-0.
world and
Mhm.
so on, Deuce Carters of this world and so on. So, you know, quite handy field in the men's 110 hurdles.
Or,
Of course,
or
the juniors now
or
trying to.
or quite competitive
Mm,
field.
mm.
Yeah. And then after that event, we would have the boys under 19 110 hurdles event
In this,
just after the under 17,
yes, and in
where we
that
have a
event
full
we have
field.
quite a good field here. We see Vashon Vasiana, formerly of St. Jago,
Yes.
and he represented Kingston College
5.03. That's for
at
the
the
final
At the last
champs this year,
boys
boys
champs,
champs this
yes.
year.
attempt.
Um,
And fourth with
he was
55.86.
injured. He ran a race at GC Foster College early in the year and then did not run again until champs. And in this event, it's a rhythm event. And if you're not competing, it's going to be very difficult. And it actually literally showed
So foul for
that lack of
Orford on his
competition for
final
Vashan
attempt.
Vasiana, who made the switch from St.
Finishes
Jago to
in
Kingston
fifth
College. It didn't
position
work
with
out
a
for
score
him
of
this year. I know he
54.
still have another year
Final attempt coming
at
for
Kingston
Discus
College. Not
Young
certain if
in third
he will be
with a
running. But
6.58.
also here is Neil Matthew Sutherland of Jamaica College. He
So looking to improve on
was a
that
Class
final.
3 record holder, and this year injured, did compete at champs, and wasn't his usual self, but he's coming back,
On track now, the under 18 boys
and let's
110
see
meter
how he
hurdles.
fares in this event.
In lane 2,
Yeah.
representing St. Catherine, Kevin
So
Bogner. Lane 3 from Calabar, Javon Nelson. Lane 4, Representing St. Jacob, Andre Harris.
So we have a new athlete added to this under 17 field,
Lane
Kevin
6,
Butner.
representing
Kevin
Excelsior,
Buckner.
Daniel Wright. And lane 7, representing Calabar, Alex Brown.
We have
The
two
lineup for the
actual
boys
athletes
under
added
18 110-meter
to
hurdles.
this boys under 17 110 hurdles. Two new athletes added, Kevin Buckner and Alex Brown. They join Javon Nelson, Andre Harris, Daniel Clark, Daniel Wright, and Alex Brown.
So they're called to their marks. Buckner, Nelson, Harris, Clark, Wright, Brown. Although we're seeing 5 athletes on the track, Harris, or the athlete in lane 5, Daniel Clark, seem to be absent. They're on their marks. This is the boys on the 17 110 hurdles event. Into the set position, and a second gun means that there might be a false start or a fall to start. Looking at it, Roger, with a naked eye, Nelson of Calabar, in my opinion, perhaps jump
Yes,
a thousandth of a
yes,
second too
we
early.
saw um, an early jump from someone. Um, the competitors still getting back behind their blocks. We see the officials coming across now. And was that a yellow card?
Yes.
Yeah, so the yellow card comes out. So that's a warning, actually.
So warning there for Javon Nelson of Calabar in lane 3. And so he gets a lifeline, Raj.
Yes. Of course, these decisions are usually at the discretion of the starter.
Yes.
Sometimes an athlete might be falling over. Sometimes, there's a little twitch. There's a little, so they decide to warn them. So these things are usually at discretion at the starters.
Or a slip with the
Mm-hmm.
blocks. So they're called to their marks for the second time. Scratch Daniel Clark, who would have run in lane 5. Buckner, Nelson, Harris, Wright, Brown. Into the set position, second time of asking, and away they go
Under 18
with
boys
Nelson
110-meter
of
hurdles
Calabar
on track.
surging to the front. He got the warning earlier, but he's
Javon
now
Nelson of Calabar for
just
the
about
lead.
3 flights away from victory, and he will come through to take
Battle
it.
on for second
14:01, the
for
flash
Nelson,
time for
but clear of
Nelson
the rest in
of
the
Calabar.
110-meter hurdles for under 18 boys.
There's a nice battle between Daniel Wright and Alex Brown
13.97 for
for the
Javon
runner-up
Nelson,
spot.
positive 1.0 meters per second, the wind speed.
So
14.97, the winning time there for Nelson of Calabar.
13:97.
13.97. It was a nice battle for second between Brown and I think it would have been Wright. And still, they're still trying to sort that second position out because it was very close. Both I almost going down to the tape in identical fashion,
Yeah.
Brown and Wright. I would not be surprised if both athletes are given the same time. But let's wait and see. But no doubt about the winner, Nelson of Calabar, 13.97. Officials still trying to sort out that second position. Very close. As another adjustment is being made for the boys under 19 this time to come.
Yeah, that
110 hurdles.
So the
14.44.
remaining times coming up now for the 110-meter hurdles for under 18 boys. The The winner, Nelson of
14.4.
Calabar,
Brown
13.97
getting the
seconds.
second.
Second position given to Brown. That's Alex Brown,
14.44
also
for Alex.
Calabar, 14.44. And
And
then in third, Daniel Wright
Daniel Wright
of Excelsior,
getting third
1446.
position
14.46 for
in
Wright. Faulkner
14.46.
finishing in fourth
So
position at
just squeezing out a 200 meter,
14.41.
a 200
Faulkner
of a
representing
second
St. Catherine.
advantage over Wright. Alex Brown holding on for second in this boys under 17 110-meter high hurdles.
So Nelson winner 1397. Alex Brown, as Roger said, second 1444, and third Daniel Wright 1446. Roger, to come now is the boys on the 19 110 hurdles
Yes,
event,
and just remind you that you're watching the J3 All Comers Meet here on Stride Vision TV,
as well
and
as
also taking place is the Paralympic trials this morning here. We
at
saw
Kingston's National Stadium.
the 100 meters in the Paralympic trial being run already, and of course they are trying to make Jamaica's team to the Paralympics in Japan. That comes up almost immediately after the Olympics, the main Olympics, which as of today, Dwight, is still on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I heard one commentator say that he has never seen another Olympic that have been back and forth so much in terms of
Yes.
on now and then off again and
And,
wanting to be cancelled.
and one thing is certain, this may be the most least fun Olympics we'll ever see in our lifetime.
Wow.
No international spectators.
Yes.
And the organizers in Tokyo, they are still toying with the idea of having no spectators at all. In this week, we saw the Japanese Prime Minister urging the Japanese public to stay home and watch it on TV. And
Yes.
they are still awaiting a decision as to whether the local spectators will be allowed. We know they've already decided on a limit, but they are still deciding on whether to have any at all in the stadium. So
So
no doubt it will be the least. On Vassiana, formerly of Kingston, well, he's running unattached, but we know he attends Kingston College. Neil Matthew Sutherland, JC man of J3A Youths as well. Jordani Woodley of J3A Youths. Jaheim Stern, J3A Youths, and Deshaun Lamb of Calabar. They on their marks for this boys. Under 19, 110-meter hurdles.
we look to lane 4, Vassiani.
In the set position, and off they go. Good start for Woodley of J3 Youths, and Woodley still looking good, leaving the field behind. Matthew Sutherland left back as well. Out there is Christian Rahim, but winning is Jordan Woodley, 13.51. The flash time coming for Woodley, got up very well and
Yeah.
dominated that field. The others tried their best to close. Vashan, Vassiana, Neil, Matthew Sutherland, the more established names.
Fading Raj
So the official time
is 1352 for Woodley. And
Christian third.
Lamb 1391 Raj. He got second.
Wow. So
And Christian 1412 third.
so Woodley, he really took it to them quite early in
Yeah,
that race. He established that step
from about
from
the third
almost
hurdle, third flight.
yeah,
Roger.
the second to third hurdle. He
Yes.
really
Established
began to
himself.
pour it on. We all thought that Vassiana and Neil Matthew Sutherland would have been coming back at him, but that wasn't to be.
Yeah.
Instead, we had Deshaun Lamb holding on for that second position, and Raheem Christian third. 13.52 nonetheless for Jordani Woodley of the J3 Youths.
In fact, Vassiana finished sixth, Roger, and Neil Matthew Sutherland finished seventh, so they ended down the track. But a great run that time for Woodley, who showed great strength, courage, and determination in winning this particular event. Now, after this boys on the 19 110 hurdles event, we'll be turning our attention to
All right, so
the women's
Just to
100
remind you that
meters.
you're watching the all-comers J3 meet here at Kingston's National Stadium. Roger Hassel and Dwight Fraser. We take a break.
11.40 seconds.
Sweet for the love, me not do it for the light. Sweet for the love, me not do it for the light. Sweet for the love, me not do it for the light. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the light. Enough of them love light, that don't right. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type.
our coverage of, we say welcome back to our coverage of the JAAA's all-comers meet, as well as the Paralympic trials here at Kingston's National Stadium. Yours truly, Dwight Fraser, alongside
Roger Haspel, and we are here to
Next event
resume
on track, the women's
with the
100
women's
meters.
100 meters. If
Four sections
four sections
listed.
yes,
to be
Raj.
Section 1,
contested.
lane 2.
Section 1 sees Tinel
Fennel
Williams
Williams
of St.
representing
Jago
St.
in 2,
Jago.
Tia Clayton
Lane 3, Tia
and
Clayton.
her sister
Lane
Tina
3
running
youths.
in lane 3 and 4.
Lane 4,
Michelle
Tina
Harriot
Clayton.
in lane
J3A
5, Grizel
youths.
Scarlett 6,
Lane 5, Michelle
Serena
Harriet,
Cole in
GC
7,
Foster
and Crystal
College.
Slowly
Lane 6,
in lane
Grizel
8.
Scarlett, MVP. Lane 8, Crystal
All right,
Slowly, competing
this is
unattached.
a very good field.
The lineup for section 1
Mickey
of
Harriott of
4
GC Foster
of
College
women's
there.
100
Serena
meters.
Cole, Crystal Slowly, and of course the Clayton sisters and Thenell Williams, St. Jago.
Yeah, and remember, Raj, one of the Clayton sisters of Edwin Allen had false started at champs, and therefore her sister, it was Tia who had false started, and Tina came through to win the gold. They were hoping for a 1-2 that day on the birthday of their mom, but it just never transpired. They're called to their marks. Tinel Williams, lane 2. Tia Clayton, lane 3. Tina Clayton, lane 4. Michelle Harriet, 5. Grizel Scarlett, 6. Serena Cole, 7. Crystal Stoley, 8. Away they go, first time of
First
asking.
section of the
And
women's
immediately
100
we
meters.
see Tia
with the
Clayton
flying
surging to the
star,
front,
Tina
and
Clayton
her sister
chasing.
Tina chasing.
The
But
sisters
Tina
away from the
comes
red.
through
Tina
now
ahead
to
of
take it
Tia.
ahead of Tia. 11:73 the flash time for Tina
Michelle
Clayton,
Harriet finishing
and
in
her
third
sister
position.
Tia finished second. 1-2 for Roger. 1-2 Roger for them. What
Negative
never
2.2
transpired at
meters
champs
per second the
happens
wind
here this
speed.
morning.
Right,
Tina Clayton
11.73
11.71.
for Tina, 11.71
Tia
actually.
Clayton 11.83.
And Tia, 11.83 for the runner-up spot there.
Harriet in third.
And Mickey Harriott.
11.93 for Harriet.
So 11.71 for
Fennel
Tina.
Williams finishing in fourth position at 12.19. Minus
And
2.2 meters per second the wind speed.
Tina second, 11.83.
For the first section of the women's
And
100
Mickey Harriott
meters.
finishing in third, 11.93 for Mickey Harriott of GC Foster College. So the Clayton sisters not having anything coming between them this time around. Tina got off to a bullet start, but chased down all the time by her sister Tina.
And Tina eventually winning, Roger.
Caught up with her at about the 90-meter mark and pulled away in the end to win comfortably. 11.71 for Tina Clayton and Tia 11.83. Mickey Harriott, now of GC Foster College, third, 11.93. The first of four sections, women's 100 meters. Here, the all-comers meet here in Kingston's National Stadium this morning.
The women's 100 meters.
And of course, section 2 was the
Lane
next
2,
event on the track. Next event on the track, Raj.
Williams, J3A youths. Lane 5, Tony and Lindsay, GC Foster College. Lane 6,
Four
Shirley
sections
GC Foster College. And in lane 8, Kristen
in this, the girls in the women's 100 meters.
All right, so we have Onandalo. Of course, she's the daughter of Onandilo,
Right.
former Jamaican.
And the sister of
international.
Damien Lowe,
Right, yeah.
defender
Yes,
in the national
she represents
senior
Immaculate.
football team.
Daniel Kent of Papine. Vanya Williams, champs Tony and Lindsay, GC Foster. Surya Henry, GC Foster. Octavia Donna, unattached. And Kristen Laidlaw of MVP. They're on their marks. For the second section, women's 100 meters.
Is that Lavanya Williams, Roger,
Right.
of Rossies?
Yes.
Could be
There was just one gun, but actually something happened.
yes, it was Williams who had jumped first, Raj.
Let's see what will happen, but no doubt
If we had the benefit of the
something
replay.
definitely happened there. Let's wait and see what will happen now. You see they are coming across. And it's a red card. Is it? Is it a red card that?
For yes, it is Raj. Yes.
Red card for 4.
So Williams is gone. So Lavanya
Lavanya
Williams
Williams.
gone, Roger.
Yes.
So red card shown to Lavanya Williams.
Quite
Wow.
unfortunate.
False start.
Yes.
They didn't hesitate at all.
No, not at all, Raj. I mean, to the naked eye, it was clear that it would have been Williams out of lane 4.
So, no Williams.
So the field now reduced to 4 athletes.
Yes. So we have 2. Kent. Is it low? Actually low. Then in the set position and off they go. So it is Campbell and Henry of GC Foster College. Tony and Lindsay is going down to the line, and Tony and Lindsay going down to the wire there. So Henry winning 12.47 ahead of Tony and Lindsay.
So the 2 athletes of GC Foster College running abreast, Roger.
12.45
right.
the time for Henry.
And Henry gets the victory, Raj.
12.46 for Lindsay in second.
12.46 for Lindsay. So no Lavanya Williams, who no doubt would have been the top athlete, disqualified. And the GC Foster pair crossing the line first. And that's it. Second section of the women's 100 meters. But Lavanya Williams literally just gave up and really disqualified herself, basically.
I mean, it could be looked at in several ways, Roger. I mean, I don't necessarily would agree that she deliberately disqualified
No, I wouldn't
herself.
say deliberately,
Okay.
but I mean in terms of what happened.
Oh, yes. I mean, she is the cause of what transpired. And then the pressure from the field, such a young age, Roger, all those factors play into what took place. But nonetheless, I mean, she lived to fight another day, because even if she didn't get a chance to run here in this 100 meters for which she was drafted, Roger,
Coming up next, section 3
then we'd
of the
hope
women's 100
that even
meters.
though she would feel despondent now, that it wouldn't necessarily carry over into another day or another meet. Because sometimes when it happens, an athlete can become tentative, Roger,
Right.
when they remember what transpired at first. Saw the Clayton sisters earlier in the previous heat, and how well they performed, finishing in 1-2. That is what they were hoping for, a champs. That never transpired, but it never stopped them this morning.
Not at all.
The women's 200 meters dash, some results coming through to Roger. Alia Francis, J3 Youth, 23.77. Anna K. Maitland, St. Catherine, 24.61. And Joan Reed, third, St. Jago, 25.01. Now we move now to another section, Roger. This is
lane 3, Brianna Clark, competing unattached.
This is section 3,
Lane
Roger.
5, Shanice Straw, movements. And in lane 6, the T47, Jamaica Paralympic competitor, Asoy-Sana Campbell. The lineup for section 3 of 4 in the women's 100 meters.
All right, so this is now section 3 of the women's 100 meters. Don't have the athlete listed there in lane 1. But in lane 3, based on my paper, Brianna Clark. Lane 5, Shani Straw. And the Paralympic athlete, Asoyana Campbell, in 6. Away they go, first time of asking. And Moody in lane 1 with a wonderful start and running right through the tape from start to finish. And her flash time is 12.40 seconds.
Look at the 12.40 seconds. Minus 3.7. Yeah, that's minus 3.7.
Right, so that was a bullet start from Michael Moody.
For section 3 of the women's 100 meters.
And literally blew the field at the away. at the start of the
For
race.
Moody of MVP, Clark in
12.37.
second at 12.94.
12.94 for Clark in second.
And Straw
Straw third
in third
of
position
movements.
at 14.65.
So Moody, 12.37.
Campbell,
Winning that
the
event.
T47 Paralympic competitor
Literally
in the
from the
lineup,
start of
finishing
that
fourth
race.
at 16.02.
In
Section
fact,
3 of 4, the women's 100 meters.
in fact, they had Moody, Roger, listed to run in lane 8,
Right?
but she ran out of lane 1, MVP track.
Mikhail Moody.
So Remain Beckford.
12:37 her winning time.
Getting over 2.05. He has a personal best of 2.20
So
meters.
the final section to come, the women's 100 meters. Of course, the first section, as we said earlier, you heard and saw,
Easy does it there
Tina
for
Clayton,
Beckford on his personal
11.71, the
best.
fastest
Getting
time
over
so far today
2.05.
for the women's in the 100
Beckford
meters.
flying over the bar.
And we stand by now
And he
for
has a
section
personal
4
best
of
of
the women's
2.20
100
meters.
meters.
Final attempt coming now
We
for
see
Aaron
4
McKenzie.
competitors on the track, Roger.
Right?
And we see 8
On
on our
track now,
paper.
section 4 for the women's 100 meters. In lane 1, Sha'Carri Richardson, St. Catherine.
Shakira
Lane
Bauer
2, Juliet McLeish, Blue Diamond.
in
Lane 5,
1.
JCN, that's
Well,
Jackson
based
Woolery,
on
Green
what we have
Diamond.
here,
Lane
let's
6,
just
Jordan
tell you
Clark,
what
Blue
we have.
Diamond.
We have Shakira
Tina
Bauer of
Clayton
St.
is
Catherine in 1.
for section
She's
4.
another athlete from down in the islands, representing, I think she's from St. Lucia, representing St. Catherine High. And in 2, it's Juliet McLeish of Blue Diamond. We're not seeing an athlete in 3. That should have been Davika Dasanga. Then we go over to 4. No athlete in 4 as well. That should have been Kayleigh Guthrie. Then we move to Jacian Woolley, Green Island, and Plummer of Blue Diamond in the set position. And off they go.
So
And
start here.
Bauer gets up well for St. Catherine out there in lane 1.
In lane number 1,
Woolery, Green
Plummer.
Island,
Top 2 well
Jody
across
and
to the
Plummer
line. Bauer
in
will
second
win.
position. But Bauer is running away and winning
Negative
comfortably
2.2
from
meters
St.
to
Catherine
second.
High, 12.19. And Jody and Plummer of Blue Diamond second. But Shakira Bauer of St. Catherine, the winner in this section 4 of the women's 100 meters.
Plummer gave chase to Bora, but it was a little too late, Roger, because Bora seemed to have stepped on the gas
Quite early.
Yeah, and never eased up at all.
Not at all. And of course, she was a finalist at Champs this year for St. Catherine High. And 12.17 seconds for
12.17 seconds, the
Shakira Bauer,
time for
the official time for the young athlete from St. Catherine High. So that is the completion of the women's 100 meters this morning. And no doubt, fastest times belonging to the Clayton sisters this morning. Tina Clayton, 11.71.
There's a saying that says, hope springs eternal from the human breast. And so these athletes, hopeful of representing Jamaica at regional and international events, certainly would have gotten the platform this morning, Roger, in a nice competitive event up to this point.
Right. So we had the 200 meters and now the 100 meters, and then we move on to the men's 100 meters. We'll be having 8 sections this morning. So we do look forward to that in a short while. The men's 100 meters. The high jump is currently underway as well as we speak. And among the competitors in that field, you have the likes of Romaine Beckford unattached, Zane Palomino of Monarch High, Verel Sam unattached, Lushane Wilson, formerly of St. Jago, now at GC Foster College, and Aaron McKenzie, he's unattached. Those are the competitors currently taking part in the men's high jump.
Of course, Anthony Carpenter in 2 former athletes of Calabar. Wilson, formerly of Calabar, should run in lane 7, and Andrew Gillips should run in lane 8.
Okay, so Antonio Watson, remember him? He and Shashin Dennis are the
Yes.
boys champs. Dennis winning.
The Dennis of St. Elizabeth
Watson
Technical.
deciding to come down to the 100 meters this year, trying
Yes.
his luck at it. Not doing that bad at all. Was a second place finisher at
Yes.
champs
At
behind the
least on the
Sachin
podium,
Dennis.
yeah.
And of course, the controversy surround Antonio Watson and those imaginary shots fired, which was quite a debate. Okay.
Those imaginary shots fired, Roger, was it from the starter's gun or it was from the shooting range?
No, it was from Antonio Watson at the end of him winning the race.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
I do have an opinion on it because while I laughed, I remember that most of us uh, came down on Antonio Watson for cranking up and firing that imaginary shot, Roger. It doesn't bode well for our culture, given the problems that we currently face where crime and violence is concerned. You wouldn't necessarily want an athlete to celebrate like that. That's my opinion.
Okay, well, he wasn't the first to have done something like that.
Right.
And what we know is that
Men's
what
100
they can
meters
get
on track,
away with
section 1,
here in
lane 2,
Jamaica, they
Anthony
might not
Carpenter.
necessarily get away
Lane
with at the
3,
collegiate
Jamal
level
Rollins,
if they
GC
should
Foster.
desire to do so in the
Lane
United
5,
States.
I
Marcus
remember many
Compton,
persons
also
were
GC
pushing
Foster.
for the J
Lane
Trace
6,
and
Antonio
Issa to
Watson,
take away his medal.
PSV.
No,
Lane
that's
7,
And I
Tony
would
Cooper,
necessarily agree with
no,
that.
no,
Paralympic.
no, no, not at all,
Lane
not at
8,
all,
Andrew Gillips, St.
not at
Jago.
all, not at all. What as I was
You
saying,
know,
what you might get away with here, you might
yes,
not necessarily get
we,
away with
we can definitely do
elsewhere.
without celebrations like that, Roger.
So
Especially the problems we're
that's my
facing right
opinion.
now.
I
Yes.
just feel that since you won't get away with it elsewhere,
So,
First section of the men's 100
all right, a
meters.
false start there, or a second gun. There was a second gun for
yeah,
this
but
event.
that second gun fired, in my opinion, a little too late, Roger.
Break at the start for that
Mm.
event.
Because when the second gun fired, the athletes would have cleared more than 10 meters, Roger. But nonetheless, I'm not a qualified starter, nor am I a starter's assistant.
So you have the likes of a Michael Bentley in this event, Anthony Carpenter, Javon Rollins, Kenroy Anderson, Makish Compton, Antonio Watson, Tyreek Wilson, and Andrew Gillips.
based on what we have on paper. But in a little while, Roger, I'll see if I can give you the confirmation as to how many athletes turn up out of those 8 listed by you just now.
I think it appears to be a full field, with maybe or no lane one, is it? No lane two, no Michael Bentley. So they go back to their marks for this men's 100 meters.
So it is Carpenter, Rollins, Roger, Anderson, Compton, Wilson, Gillips. And away they
First
go.
section of the men's
Second time of
100
asking.
meters off
And
and
immediately we
running.
look to the middle of the
Gillips
field.
on the
We
outside
see
going well.
Compton.
Antonio Watson
But on the
stepping through the
inside,
middle. Watson ahead of Gillips and Carpenter, 10.74.
Carpenter looks
The
strong. But
best
Watson,
time.
Antonio Watson on the outside. Petersfield. For just a
Negative
second, we're looking at
3.9
Compton of GC
meters per
Foster
second.
College
The wind
in the
speed
middle
was
of the track.
negative 3.9
But Antonio
meters per
Watson
second
did well,
OTP.
Roger, on the outside to come through.
Yes,
The time adjusted to
left it late.
10.69 for Antonio Watson.
10.69 for Watson.
Ahead of Anthony Carpenter, 10.81.
10.81 for Carpenter.
On the attempt now for Frederick Lakers.
And 10.69 for Antonio Watson. Of course, remember Antonio Watson is a
And Gillips third, Roger, 1084.
world champion over 400 meters at the youth level in Kenya in 2018. And stepping down to the 100 meters this year. Doing quite well.
Yeah.
He was the Western Champs winner and so on. And not certain if he has decided to scrap the 400 meters because it's mostly 100 and 200 meters he has been doing this year.
And that same case can be made for Anthony Carpenter, who ran the 400 meters while at high school, was part of that world record 4x4 team with Christopher Taylor.
Right.
Yes.
He also was a silver medalist at champs as well behind Taylor.
Yes. In that 400 meters. And good to see him stepping down now to the 100 meters, Roger.
Well,
And
I'm not certain. I mean,
and doing well.
10:89.
Yes.
10:89 for him. Maybe this could have been a personal best for him in terms of that time because he's traditionally not a 100 meters runner.
Not at all.
So stepping into the 10-second zone.
But if he used to be a real stout competitor, then the time would have to be shaved.
Yes. So let's see. Let's see. What are their goals for the remainder of the year? They are intending to make a Jamaica team. But nonetheless, Antonio Watson, 10:69, winning that first section of the men's.
Section 2 of the men's 100 meters.
100 meters. So we move on now to the second section of the men's 100 meters. And we have 8 athletes listed. Not certain if all of them are there. But we have Kalani Cook of Green Island in 1, Kareem Small of MVP in 2, DeAndre McIntosh of Jamaica College in 3, Christopher Grant unattached in 4, Andre Dacre, ZC Foster in 5, Tariq Stennett, Kingston College in 6, Gregor Prince in Jago in 7, and Demario Gullop of Ricketts Performance in lane number 8. They are standing behind their blocks. For this men's 100 meters, section 2 here at the all-comers meet at Kingston's National Stadium. So they're on their marks. So there's no DeAndre McIntosh in the field. In the set position. And we see the man from Ricketts Performance running out of his block. Gallop.
Yes. Gallop too early, perhaps, Raj?
Let's see. We are seeing the official walking across.
This might be a red card. We're not sure. And certainly it is.
Yes.
So
He
just
literally disqualified himself. He disqualified himself. We are seeing heading over to the official to query. I'm not certain what he's gonna query because
no, it was clear, Raj.
He ran out of the blocks.
Yes. Got up quite too early.
Not
so
certain.
There's no debate where that is concerned.
So they go back to their marks. So it's Gregor Prince in 7, Stennett in 6, Dacres in 5, Grant in 4, McIntosh in 3, Small in 2, and they are up again. Oh. Oh, so the athletes have been asked to return to their blocks.
Hope we'll not see a situation as to what transpired almost 2 months ago, Raj.
So they go back to their marks, Dwight.
Yes.
So we see McIntosh back in the field. Beside McIntosh is Grant of, well, he's running unattached, and Dacres of GC Foster. On their marks, section 2 of 8, the men's 100 meters. Set position, and off they go. McIntosh gets up very well. Grant follows him, and Grant steps forward now. Andre Dacres is there. Tariq Stennett tries to come, but Christopher Grant is running away to win. 10.88, the flash time, leaving the field behind, including DeAndre McIntosh and Dacres and Stennett behind in his wake. But Christopher Grant winning 10.83. The official time for Christopher Grant in this section 2 of the men's 100 meters.
10.83 seconds, Roger, for Grant, who himself was determined to put the false start of the athlete out of lane 8 behind him. And of course, just stayed true to form and pulled right through to take this event.
The number
10.83
94,
seconds.
Prince.
Prince, 11.09 seconds, was
11.04
second.
for Stennett in second and third, respectively.
And third was Stennett, 11.10.
All right, so news coming from the high jump area is that Lashane Wilson, formerly of St. Jago, now at GC Foster College, equaled his personal best of 2.20 meters. Good going for the youngster.
Indeed.
Hearing now that he's trying to clear 2.25 meters. So let's see how that pans out for him.
Well, first attempt coming now for Shane Wilson at 2.25 meters. On men's high jump, he's the only competitor remaining in the event.
The lone competitor
Standard is 2.33
in the men's high
meters.
jump remains Lashane Wilson, GC Foster College, attempting to clear 2.25, having just a short while ago equaled his personal best of 2.20.
Earlier we had Kimberly Williams winning the
Winning
women's.
1.89 meters. So here comes Wilson now, urged on by this few supporter here. It's down the bar in his first attempt. He might have two more attempts at 2.25. And we have seen in the past, Dwight, where athletes attempting a mark and not clearing it, and they psychologically place it at a higher mark and clear it.
Yes, yes, yes.
It has happened.
Or sometimes it work against them, Roger.
Yeah, a lot of times work against, but we have
Yes.
seen it happens.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And
Section 3 of the men's 100
This is section 3 of the men's 100 meters. While that discussion was going on, we look to the middle of the track. It is Edward Clark, but Montfreeze of J3A's youth win the section, 10.88 seconds of flash time. And second would be Edward Clark of Legacy Athletics. We wait to see the actual time on the board. Round out now, 10.86 for Alex Xavier Monfries of Excelsior, running on the banner of J3. He wins this one, and second.
Edward Clark finishing in second position. 11.01.
So Edward Clark, 11.01, will take second place. And then now we move to section 4 as Roger gets himself ready for that event. Section 4 sees Jordan Nichols. You have the lineup, Raj?
yeah, so Mumfries official 10.86 for him. And Edward Clark, formerly of Jamaica College and then Calabar, 11.01. So section 4 coming up, we have Jordan Nicholas, unattached. Aubrey Allen, Legacy. In 3 is Odane Crooks, St. Jago. Dervin Walker of Homewood in 4. Andrea Harris of St. Jago in 5. Brian Smith of St. Jago in 6. Shane Pitter, Excelsior in 7. And David Buckham of Huey in lane number 8. So Shane Wilson attempts 2.20 again. 2.25 actually. Of course, he equal his personal best. 2.20. Here he comes in full white. Approaches the bar and hits it down yet again. Has one attempt remaining at 2.25 as the athletes go to their marks for this fourth section of the men's 100 meters. The J3 all-comers meet here at the National Stadium in Kingston.
And happening simultaneously to Roger is the women's long jump event. We say good morning, good afternoon, or good night to our viewers wherever they are in the world watching Stride Vision TV. Stride Vision TV, welcome to Sports TV.
So Wilson will attempt 2.25 one last time. just didn't get that rhythm.
That is necessary
He didn't
to
get
run
the
up.
lift as well.
Yes.
And hitting it down with his shoulders. No lift. Taking instructions from his coach again. Trying to see if he can clear that
So
2.25.
section 4 on track of the men's 100
So
meters.
it's
In
back on
one,
track.
Jeremy Nicholas
It's
running for cash.
Nicholas,
2 is Aubrey Allen, legacy and
Aubrey
methods.
Allen,
3 Adain Crooks,
Adain
St. Jago.
Crooks,
4 Dervin
Dervin
Walker from
Walker,
the technical.
Andre Harris,
5 is Andre
Brian
Harris,
Smith,
St. Jago.
Shane
7
Pitter,
Shane Peter,
and
Sunset. And 8
Devade
David
Buckham
Buckham.
of UEMONA. So they go back to their marks.
So a full field, Raj.
Mhm. For this fourth section, the men's 100 meters. On their marks. The set position and running out too early.
Seemed
That
to
appears to be
be,
the man from St. Jago.
yes,
That was clear. Adain Crooks
Adain Crooks.
of St. Jago running out too early.
So now
Don't think that
Crooks.
the officials will have any difficulty with this one.
So as Crooks ponders his fate, Roger, the official walks over, and it would be a disqualification, in my
Red card
opinion.
comes out for Crooks. Uh, there shouldn't have been no problems there. It was quite clear. Literally running out of that block before the gun went off. So we are down to 7 athletes. Adain Crooks of St. Jago scratched from that event, disqualified for a false start.
So it's down now.
Equal his personal best earlier. Here he comes. LaShane Wilson, knee lift, going for the lift. Up he goes and hits down the bar again. So he failed on all 3 attempts
Yeah, so
to
that
clear
just about
2.25 for
does it.
LaShane Wilson, but nonetheless equaling his personal best of 2.20. As the athletes go back to their marks for this fourth section of the men's 100 meters. Nicholas, Allen, Walker, Harris, Smith, Pitter, and Buckham in the set position. And another false start. This time it looks as if the man from lane 4, Dervin Walker, looks as if he made that step too early.
Yeah,
And
just
I don't think there should be any difficulties
just a shade too early, Roger.
for the officials yet again
But also to Roger,
from the naked eye. Yeah.
scratch Brian Smith lane 6 on your program, and include Joel Bryan, who is the athlete who will run out of lane 6.
All right, so here comes the official now with the red card coming out for Dervin Walker.
So a second athlete gone from this one,
Mode.
Raj.
And you're saying now there's no Brian Smith?
There's no Brian Smith, but a Joel Bryan in there.
Joel Bryan. So two athletes now being disqualified, O'Dane Crooks of St. Jago and now Dervin Walker of Homo Technical. So it's now down to Nicholas, Allen, Harris, Brian, Peter, and Buckham. On their marks again. Section 4 of the men's 100 meters. In the set position, and off they go. It's a clean break this time.
Away this
And
time.
out there in lane 2, it is Aubrey Allen of Legacy, and also
Number
there with
2,
him
that's Aubrey
Nicholas
Allen.
Jordan, running
Across
unattached.
the line ahead of
And
Jordan
crossing the
Nicholas.
line is
Two second
Aubrey
dash time of
Allen in front,
31.6
ahead of
meters for
Jordan
700
Nicholas
speed.
unattached. And the time coming across
11.7 for Aubrey Allen.
11.17.
11.22 for Nicholas. 11.34 for Davis.
Davis coming third in 11.34. So there you have it. Section 4, the men's 100 meters, Aubrey Allen of Legacy, 11.19 seconds.
Of course, we go now into section 5, Raj, of the men's 100 meters dash. We have listed on our program Genoa Evans unattached should run in lane 1. Quayne Kelly, St. Jago lane 2. Giovanni Mendez Calabar should be in 3. Nicoy Greenwood, MVP track in 4. Roxroy Cato's unattached should run in lane 5. Ramal Sewell in 6, MVP track. In lane 7 of MVP track, Cashin Green. And running out of lane 8 of St. Jago, Darren Puret.
Section 5 of 8 in the men's 100 meters coming up. Lane 1, Chenoy Evans, competing unattached. Lane 2, Cohen Kelly, St. Jago. Lane 3, Giovanni Mendez, Calabar. Lane 4, Nicoy Greenwood, MVP. Lane 5, Andrew Fisher. Lane 6, Ramal Sewell, MVP Track Club. Lane 7, also of MVP. Lane 8, Darren St. Jago.
So a correction, our program having Roxroy Cato in 5, and the announcer making it clear that it should be Andrew Fisher who will run out of lane 5, Roger.
Yeah. And we have some results.
They're called to their marks before you go into whatever results, Raj. They're called to their marks for now section 5 of 8 of the men's 100 meters. Evans in 1, Kelly in 2, Mendez 3, Greenwood in lane 4, Sewell in 6, Green in 7, Pirret in 8, and Andrew Fisher in lane 5. A full field of 8. They're on their marks. And there is a false start, Roger.
Looks as if it's
It's
Kelly
Quayne Kelly
from
of
St.
St. Jago
Jago, getting up a bit too early.
in lane 2.
Not certain why the athletes are not waiting on the gun this morning at all.
Because we've had several false starts so far,
Quite a
Raj.
few. Quite a few.
Yes.
Quite.
I know it's great anticipation out there, Raj.
Quite anxious to get out of the blocks early.
Yeah.
And there comes the red flag now for the man from St. Jago, Quayne Kelly. Red card. Disqualified from this 5th section of the men's 100 meters.
So now we're down to 7 competitors in Evans in 1, Mendez 3, Greenwood in 4, Sewell 6, Green in 7, and Pirret rounds out of 8. Andrew Fisher, make note, runs out of lane 5. So that's Evans 1, Mendez 3, Greenwood 4, Fisher 5, Sewell 6, Green 7, and Pirret in 8. Men's 100 meters. This is section 5 of 8. Earlier on, we saw Aubrey Allen winning the previous heat, 11.17 seconds. And second was Jordan Nicholas, 11.22. Xavier Montfrey, 1086, one section 3 of the men's 100 meters. So they're called to their marks once again. With a little buzz around the stadium from the athletes who themselves are waiting to compete, who have competed already, others in the field event. Roger gave us the result in the men's high jump and the women's high jump. We'll go back to those in a little while. Away they go.
Section 5
Second
of
time
the
of
men's
asking.
100
And in the
meters
middle
on
of the
track,
track,
Andrew
we see
Fisher
Andrew
with a
Fisher
full
stepping to
start.
the front and
Andrew
immediately
Fisher well
turn
clear of the
on
rest
the
of the field.
afterburners. Andrew
Andrew
Fisher
Fisher
had
coming
no
across
problem,
the line
Roger,
to win section 5
in
of the men's
taking section
100 meters.
5.
The wind
He
speed
came out
minus
blazing, Roger,
3.3
determined
meters
to
per
go all the
second.
way, and he
The
never
flash
eased up at
time
all.
11.07.
The flash time there for Fisher 11.07. Not certain if he was running into a strong headwind.
But you see the high knee lift and the arms pumping, Roger. Fisher was determined from
Uh,
gun to tape, Roger, to take this one.
right, 11.07. You know, traditionally he's a 10, mid 10 range. 11.07 the flash time for him. So my thinking is that maybe there's a strong headwind down there. Still sorting out the time for Fisher,
But
who
the
was
rest
a
of the
late
field,
addition to the field actually.
yes, the rest of the field really faded in oblivion, Roger,
Right.
because he was the X factor in this race.
11 point.
So the
So
time
it's
adjusted to
11:06
11.06
for Fisher,
for Andrew Fisher.
and of course Green,
11.06.
In
Kashim Green,
second,
11:50 for
11.50, and
Kashim Green,
Greenwood in third at 11.53.
and Greenwood, that is Nicoy Greenwood, finishing third, 11:53.
Minus 3.3 meters per second, the wind speed for section 5
Minus 3.3.
of the men's 100 meters. Section 6 of 8 coming up next on track.
So really running into a strong headwind, as was predicted by me,
Yes.
or indicated by me.
Yeah.
Minus 3. You know?
Strong headwind.
Right, so Fisher
Unlike a
winning.
strong tailwind would have been a positive. But so far, Roger, I mean, good times being returned by the athletes so far this morning.
Yes, indeed.
On track now,
We
section
have
6 of
seen
8. Lane
the
1,
fastest
Demetri
time this
Wright's
morning.
movements. Lane 2, Akeem Stewart running unattached. Lane 3, Charles Green
10:69
movements.
from Antonio
Lane 4,
Watson.
Anthony Green, St. Catherine. Lane 5,
We also
Anthony
saw
Ellis, GC Foster College. Lane 6,
Xavier
Matthew Howell,
Monfries
STP.
running
Lane 7,
10:86
Siobhan
as well
Pearl,
this
Gary
morning.
Mellon. And in lane 8, Ronaldinho Benjamins, Blue Diamond.
So, yeah, those are the fastest times so far in the men 100 meters. So, section 6 coming up. Demetri Wright of movements, Akeem Stewart unattached, Charles Green movements, Kashane Williams St. Jago, Anthony Ellis GC Foster, Matthew Howell of MVP, Nicoy White unattached, and Ronaldinho Benjamins of Blue Diamond. The men's 100 meters, section 6.
So it's a full field again, Raj.
On their marks.
Hope there'll be no false start this time around.
Oh, and getting up very early in 4 was, is it
Kashane Williams, St. Jago.
let's see. The official is there quickly as well. Not certain what he got the card already. So he didn't wait at all, Dwight.
Yes.
Not certain why the athletes are not waiting on the gun this morning. So another disqualification. The man from lane 4, Kashane Williams. So they go to their marks again.
This time the athletes are told to stand, Raj.
Wow, quite a disappointment though for a number of these athletes coming out this morning to
Yes.
try to get some competitive action in and not been able to run because of disqualification. And a number of these disqualifications, we see this morning, are almost self-inflicting.
Indeed.
So they go to their marks yet again.
In the previous heat, it was Crane Kelly was disqualified, and before that, it was O'Dane Crooks and Dervin Walker who were both disqualified in Section 4.
So it's right, straight, off they
So
go.
clean start for the
And
Tara
out
basketball
there
club side in
in
lane 7. That
lane
should mark
7
Ferron
is
Edwin Allen.
Ferron,
It's
and
Ferron and
running
then
well.
Ellis of GC
So
Foster
there
College.
is also
Ferron will
Sewell
get the win.
coming
Ellis will
down
be
to the wire
second. Getting
now.
close to
And
third on the inside,
Darren
Keith Stewart.
Ferron
But swings in
winning.
strongly so to Dimitri right of movement. 11.42 for Ferron,
11.42
11.55 for Ellis.
for Ferron.
Negative 2.6 meters per second, the wind
And
speed.
let's see
Speed
now.
11.62 in third.
11.42. The winning time. And based on what we have on our paper here, Dwight, there are a lot of mix-up names.
Yeah, because there's no Ferron.
No, not at all. Not at all, but Ferron is the one who won.
11:42.
Ellis, second.
GC Foster College.
In running in lane 7 was Ferron, and it was a Nicoy White that was placed there. Ellis second. And third, going to Green, Kashim Green. So, all comers, please do a little better than that. If you give us a lane draw, please stick to it or inform us. So that was section 6 of the men's 100 meters.
So section
now, section 7 of the
section
men's
7 of
100
the
meters.
men's 100 meters.
Lane 1,
Zaverick Jones in lane 1,
movements.
movement. In lane 2,
Lane 2,
Clifton
Brian
Pusey
Allen,
unattached.
Edwin Allen. Lane 3, Joshua Sejean, also of Edwin Allen. Lane 4, Nicholas Newby, Legacy. Lane 5, Jelani Gordon, Wilmers. Lane 6, Ramar Stapleton, Jamaica College. Lane 7, Stephon Peters of MVP. And lane 8, Sanjay Davison, St. Catherine. The lineup for the penultimate section in the men's 100 meters, section 7 of 8.
So it appears, Dwight, that we have the correct names this time in the men's 100 meters for section 7. As they go to their marks. Or there are some other adjustments again.
Yeah, because 2 athletes of Edwin Allen in lane 2 and 3, Roger. One of them now falls starting. It's
or running out of the blocks.
running
not
out of the
certain.
blocks before the gun fires. We have Clifton Pusey in lane 2 and Ronald Granham in lane 3. Pusey unattached and Ronald Granham of Excelsior. But based on what the announcement said, Roger, from the announcer here at the Stadium Ricardo, we were told that the 2 athletes of Edwin Allen running out of lane 2 and 3, Brian 2 and
this time it's a green car comes out for the field.
yes.
So the entire field has been placed on alert. So this is the 7th section of the men's 100 meters.
Joshua
So there are changes, as I said, Dwight, in this event.
In this event, yes. Zadrick Jones movements in 1. Brian in lane 2, Edwin Allen. Joshua Shajon, lane 3, Edwin Allen. Nicholas Newby 4, Legacy Athletics 5, Jelani Gordon of Woolmer's. In 6, Ramar Stapleton, Jamaica College. In 7, Stevan Peters, MVP track. And in lane 8, Sandra Davidson of St. Catherine High. They called it the marks for the second time. We certainly hope they'll be smooth going now, Roger, in this one. At least a second time of asking. And away they go, no problem. The athlete of Calabar or Legacy Athletics, Nicholas Newby, surges to the front. But then Sandra Davidson of St. Catherine comes through to take it. But Gordon of Woolmer's seemed to have gone down on the line with him or simultaneously. So it's between Gordon Roger and Davidson of St. Catherine.
10.79 for
so it's Davidson.
Davison
Yes.
of St. Catherine High.
Second at 10.81 seconds.
Roger, it's 200ths of a second separating first and second.
Right.
Stapleton in third, 11.01. Ramar Stapleton of Jamaica College.
The athlete of Woolmer's, Jelani Gordon, 10.81. But 10.79 for Sandra Davidson, the winner of St. Catherine High.
One section to come in the men's 100 meters.
All right, so Davison of St. Catherine.
But he
led for most of the way. Gordon came back at him and almost got him on the line, but he held on for the victory. Second man from St. Catherine, 10.79.
It was a good start too, Roger. Stapleton finishing third, 11.01. It was a good start, Roger, for Newby of Legacy Athletics. But he faded just about 40 or 50 meters or so.
Final section on track now, the men's 100 meters.
So the final section, Roger, in the men's 100 meters.
Right, so section 8.
The lane assignments in lane 1, Curtis Henry running unattached. Lane 2, Gilmar Russell, Green Island. Lane 3, Matthew Thompson running unattached. Lane 5, Jordan Plummer, Blue Diamond. Lane 6, Jordan James, Edwin Allen. And in lane 7, Samuel Smith, MVP.
So of the 8 athletes listed, Roger, I'm seeing only 5 athletes on the track.
All right, we have Curtis Henry unattached, Giomar Russell of Green Island, Matthew Thompson, Nicholas Dixon, Jordan Plummer, Nishan Ebanks, Samuel Smith, and Romain Cover.
So lane 6, 7, 8 would be occupied, Roger. Ebanks, Smith, and Cover. And we should look also to lanes 1, 2, and 3, which should have been occupied as well.
So no lane 4.
Not at all.
Dixon, no Dixon. And no lane 5 as well.
No.
Plummer.
And that would amount now for 6 athletes out of 8.
So they're on their marks. Final section, the men's 100 meters this morning. Here. And off they go. And out there is Samuel Smith. Ebanks is there. On the outside is Cover. Samuel Smith, MVP. Matthew Thompson comes second. And that was a victory there for Samuel Smith of MVP. Cover, he was there in lane 8. He pulled up. And Samuel Smith coming across in 11.33.
Let's quickly run through some events, some results. Boys under 18 110 meter hurdles won by Javon Nelson, Calabar, 13.97. Alex Brown, also of Calabar, finishing in second at 14.44. And Daniel Bright of Exhaust.
Later on, Raj, we should have the men's long jump event.
positive 1.0 meters
where we have
per
16
second.
competitors line up.
Under 20
And
boys 110-meter hurdles.
a middle distance event
1.09
coming up
Woodley
too,
of
Roger, the
J3
men's and
youth.
women's 800 meters.
13.52. Deshaun Lamb, Calabar in second, 13.91. Raheem Christian, J3 youth
The
in
girls
third
would
at
go first, or the
14.12.
women will
Johnny
go first,
Stern,
Roger,
J3
followed by
youth
the
in
men's
fourth,
event, the
14.23.
800 meters.
Yes, that's those are some events that is to come up in a short while. But just to remind you that you're watching Stride Vision TV. Right here are the all comers J3A meets, and we will take a break and return with much more action here from Kingston's National Stadium. It's the all comers meet.
On the Wheel of Steel, America's most wanted DJ. DJ City, mixing best of the year.
Success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it.
On track event number 7, the women's 800 meters. Lane 5,
All right, welcome back
Sha'Carri
here.
Richardson, Oval
The
Technical.
All Comers meet,
Lane 6,
Kingston's National Stadium.
J3 Youth.
And
Then
you have joined us
87,
just in
Sha'Carri
time for the women's
representing J3 Youth. And two
800 meters,
athletes in lane 8, Tara
section
Burke
1.
competing unattached and Kitania Headley of St. Catherine.
And you'll now see the 800 meters for women. And based on the names that we have here, Dwight, it's quite a mixture of athletes who are not there, or are athletes who are there but their names are not here. And I'm not certain why they hadn't this thing sorted out at all. But it's the women's 800 meters nonetheless, and quite a few junior athletes are there. Okay, so a redraw for lanes there, and quite a few representing the J3 youth. As we said, when you hear we say J3 youth, it's basically because of the camp that is currently taking place for the athletes who are hoping to represent Jamaica at the Under 20 World Championships in Kenya in August. Yes, yeah, yes, the numbers, and that was projected to happen based on the climate and the time of the year and so on. Um, based on the numbers that we're hearing, it's no longer that high number that was up and branded about a couple of months ago. Um,
We're at the final round.
yeah, I know that they might have one or two deaths on a daily basis here, or
85.5
even more from time to time. I mean, but a number of these illnesses, though, are not necessarily caused by but more you might catch the flu itself, and then the underlying conditions that you have that cannot cope. Right. So a lot of the deaths are linked to the COVID because of underlying cases that cannot keep up with the COVID. Yes. Yes. Because a lot of people, I mean, you call them asymptomatic. That
So that was the
a
final
lot of
10.
people you call asymptomatic. They show no symptoms at all.
No symptoms at all
So
while having the infection.
yeah, so that is why, I mean, there's a theory branded about that. Many more people have actually caught it than we might even imagine.
Right.
But because they show no symptoms,
Caught it and have recovered.
with the
Mind you. Yeah.
unknowingly too.
Yes. So
caught it
who knows?
and
Bob
yeah,
Rogers, Paul, and Dwight Fraser might have got the corona.
you just never know, you know. And there was some news yesterday, Brandon, about that persons under 50
Yes.
were turned back for their second dose.
And